In this video, I'm going to elaborate a very simple technique that can be used in the face of any form of emotional trauma or mental turbulence or any kind of psychological issue that's appearing in the moment. We're not going to dig for any issue because that would be unnecessary to create something that's not already present. If there is some seeming problem of our psychology, of our emotionality present now, then notice that in its objectivity, see the thought, the sensation, the emotion appearing, and be aware that you are aware of it. That is, notice you are this presence that witnesses the object of experience, the thought, the sensation, the emotion. And instead of focusing attention on the object of experience, redirect attention back on itself, back on the awareness that is aware, and simply rest as this presence. And anytime there is the impulse arising to refocus or re-engage with the object of experience, a thought, the sensation, the emotion, just relax again into this presence of awareness. You see the movement, relax. And then ask yourself a series of questions that I will ask you now. Is this awareness ever absent? That is, does this awareness ever experience the absence of itself? If you say yes, ask yourself, what is aware of the seeming absence of awareness? See that it is you, this awareness, that is aware of the seeming absence of itself. What would that seeming absence be? A thought claiming that awareness is absent. Notice that awareness is ever present throughout that thought which claims awareness is absent. Awareness is ever present. This presence that attention has relaxed into, that is the source of attention. this presence is ever present. So what's the purpose of establishing the ever-presence of awareness? The idea may come, I thought we were supposed to be dealing with the psychological issue. Well, notice again that such a thought that re-engages with the idea of a psychological problem or issue is a refocusing on that issue and seeming to overlook the presence of awareness. Such a re-engaging reignites the energy and fuel that feeds such an issue. So having noticed that movement to re-engage, relax attention into its source, this presence of awareness. The purpose of establishing the ever-presence of awareness is to pave the way to recognizing that awareness is never affected by the movements of our psychology. This presence is ever present. The psychological issues come and go. They never change the presence of awareness. Ask yourself, are you always the same self or presence? Or do you become a different self or presence from moment to moment? And if you suggest the latter is the case, what is aware of the apparent change of your presence or self? It's you. You are aware throughout what appears to be the change of yourself from one state to another. You are constantly the same presence of awareness. And that I is changeless. You are always the same I, the same self, the same presence of awareness. So by establishing this truth of yourself experientially, understand that throughout all of the mind activity, you remain unchanged. It doesn't matter what form of experience appears. You, this awareness, remain utterly still as the same presence, completely unchanged. unaffected. So now, what happens if we bring back the psychological issue, the thought, the emotion, the sensation, in light of our understanding that ourself, this presence of awareness, is never affected by that form? Peace. And see that any claim that would arise that we are not at peace would be overlooking the intrinsic presence of awareness that is ourself in favor of focusing on the psychological issue and claiming as a result that we are stuck within that, that we are localized within that, we are affected by that. In other words, we have identified ourselves in the realm of the mind, and therefore that we can be affected by other aspects of the mind, such as psychological issues. But all of that can be immediately transcended by recognizing this presence of awareness that is the essence of ourself, that is aware of all the mind's activity, but remains imperturbably, unchangingly present, always unaffected, and thus the experience of peace itself.